I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 67 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
Okay, man. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm regular. I'm tired.
You're regular?
I'm normal, you know? I should be alerted if I'm not tired, you know? I should go to a doctor if anything changes. But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm still okay. How are you?
Beautiful. What have you been doing? What's going on in your life?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Give me a rundown.
No, I can't. I don't even know. It's been I don't know. Do you feel like it's all back to normal by now? Like everything? It feels like the last week or two, we're kind of getting back to where we want to be.
Yeah, I think it's getting there, and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm still kind of hesitant to treat everything as if everything is back to the way it is, you know?
Yeah. You're still not running around licking things and shit.
Not yet. I'm looking forward to the day. But, you know, things are coming along. There's an end is in sight, and that's all that counts, you know?
Well, hopefully. I mean, we were promised an end last summer too, right? So, and then it went back to shit in the fall.
That was a bit premature, maybe. but
optimistic, you know? We're all optimistic here.
Yeah, now that you can go outside because it's warmer, you can see people that way, which is a bit safer. And of course, there's so many ways you can get tested for free, which is just, you know, it just has gotten so much easier than last summer, for example.
Are you a nose or a mouth person?
Excuse me?
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Nose.
Yeah?
You?
No, I hate it.
Although I've had some complications lately, which is why including you, I asked for if you knew a doctor, a nose doctor, because the last couple of times there's something fucking wrong with a nose, and the little stick they put in there kind of keeps getting stuck, which is very uncomfortable because the guy just took away its hands and the thing was just poking out of my nose because it didn't want to come out. I don't know what's wrong with my nose lately.
That would have been the best thing I've seen for sure. But what, that wasn't the case in the beginning?
It wasn't, no. It went down pretty easy for the first 10 to 20 times, but it's been like the last 2 or 3 times.
Well, maybe
don't know what's going on.
Maybe that's the reason why. I mean,
it's been too many times, or what?
Well, no. I've heard things that, like, if you, I mean, it's not the safest way, maybe to put it up your nose, but I'm not doing. What do I know?
I mean, I've been kind of switching to like the gargle test, and
sure,
I am going to.
This is fascinating stuff.
You know, can get vaccinated, but still, even then, you should get yourself tested, you know, because you can still infect other people. But I think, yeah, you know, gargling is the easiest and most comfortable way to do it.
Is that the right word? Gargling?
I think so. You gargle water in your throat. Isn't that the word?
I wouldn't know. For some reason, it sounds wrong, but I trust you.
If it is, I don't know. It's my word. I invented it. If anybody says it, I get $5. Which reminds me, YouTube's privacy or whatever, the whole like YouTube send out another mail to I think every user that their terms are changing, which also means that now they're gonna put ads on videos from people who are not YouTube partners, which means we might get ads in our videos. If so, I'm very sorry. It's not up to us.
Well, we can change if we want to include ads or not, no?
No.
What,
they can just put ads on every video they want.
Do we get a share of that?
Nope. Only if we're YouTube partners.
Fantastic news.
Which we aren't.
We're a couple of hundred subscribers away from that.
Yeah, I think we even lost one.
Yeah.
Goodbye to whoever.
Who would it be?
I have no idea. Did we piss somebody off last time?
Maybe. I don't know. Everyone feels neglected because we only mentioned Leon.
Yeah. Maybe it was Amy Adams because we shot on woman on the window. In the window. Through the window. What's the name of the movie?
Shot on a woman through a window. What's going on?
Anyway.
Let's get into the good stuff. So how was your week in terms of watching things?
Good. There's
Yeah.
been way more things than I expected there to be, and we now both saw something that came out very recently.
Hmm.
And I think you said you don't have much else or anything else that you watched this week. Is that right?
Yeah, how many things do you have? Because you said you were surprised as to how many things there were.
I've got 3 things because I wasn't sure if we were gonna manage to watch the newest release before we recorded this episode. So I had one thing that I was interested in, one backup thing.
Interesting. Well, yeah,
If it
I
sucked.
only have the one thing. This is one
Okay.
of the, to coin my phrase, one of the slowest weeks of my podcast history.
Okay.
I didn't have anything, and I sort of had to watch something today, and I know, yeah, that's just going to be my pick, no matter
Fair enough.
what I thought of it. Who starts? Do you know?
You start, so I guess I'm gonna start with one of my honorables, and then
How about two of you? Oh,
Or
yeah,
two.
yeah. It's not. Never mind. Yeah. Go on.
Okay.
I got you.
But anyway, before we get started, this is another regular episode. Welcome back. Here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a movie to a TV show to maybe even a YouTube video. And yeah, as you said, or I said, it's your turn to start, but I'm going to start us off with an honorable or two. And one of those things that came out very recently, which I think many people were looking forward to, is the second season of Love, Death, and Robots, which is, of course, the big animated show that came out like 2 years ago, I think.
This is not your pick.
This is only my honorable.
Interesting.
Because Love, Death, and Robots, same as the season before, of course, every episode has a different animation style, a whole different story, and it ranges quite a bit from episode to episode. With, of course, the 3 themes being love, death, and or robots appearing in every episode.
You figured it out.
And I think it's even produced by David Fincher, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and this time they only got 8 episodes instead of 16. And just like with the first season, some of them are good, some of them just aren't.
Right.
And in my opinion, most of the worst episodes are those that try to use a very over-realistic animation style, which looks quite good, but it's just a little off. And those stories are quite bland most of the time. They're so action-focused, and they look more like a tech demo of what they can do instead of telling a great story.
Right.
Which is why Love, Death, and Robots is just not my pick. It's got some cool episodes, some more funny, some more dark, but all in all, it's just so hit or miss. And I know a lot of people are big fans of this show, and I can see why,
Yeah.
I guess. But I don't know. Have you even watched the first season?
No. No. Even though it's produced by Fincher, I looked into it even when the second season came out, if he actually directed some of the episodes, and I don't think he has.
I think all of them are directed by the same guy, Tim, or something.
I don't
Miller.
think that's true.
I think
Tim Miller did at least one episode, but I think there's many different directors.
Maybe. I think, or at least he does the screenplay for each of them. He kind of adapts the original story into the screenplay for the show, I think. But I can look it up.
Okay. Well, Tim Miller's obviously the guy who did Deadpool 1.
Yes. Which is kind of a weird combination for him to do this as well.
Well, his best movie is Terminator: Dark Fate. What a movie that is. Great movie.
I'm going to agree with you because I haven't seen this movie. So
Really good.
sorry, he just directed 2 of the episodes, but he wrote the screenplay for all of them.
Right.
Technically. Or he adapted the script for all of them.
Sure. No, I looked into it. It looks good. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed by the way it looks. And as you mentioned, now some of them are really like super realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always impressed by great animation, but I'm just not that interested in the show. And I was looking forward to it because I heard it, like I was sort of thinking about maybe watching it for the podcast too. And then I heard it was only 8 episodes, but then I'm like, I would have to watch the first 16 too.
You don't. They have nothing in common.
I know. But still, I mean, it would kind of be weird to talk about or to start with the second season. I feel like it's just,
Fair enough. Although I hadn't even finished the first season either. And so I had to finish. I think it was actually 8 episodes that I was missing, so I had to watch 16,
Wow.
which is okay because the episodes range from like 7 to 18 minutes, which isn't too bad.
Yeah. No, but is the best stuff in the first season then, or I mean, you haven't seen the full first season, but what's the best? What's the best episode?
I finished it now.
Oh, you finished it now?
Season, and it's even more hit or miss. I think the first season's got like 4 or 5 good episodes out of the 16. And
Great.
season 2 is like, I liked 4 out of 8.
Okay.
Which is okay.
It's a ringing endorsement.
But most of the time it looked interesting, but in that short time they give you for that story, you don't really build a relationship with any of the characters. It's more about the different animation styles and different ways of telling a story.
But there's no like reoccurring characters at all.
At all. No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most people have heard of this already, and I think for anybody who's interested in animation, this can be fascinating. But yeah.
Yeah. I watched the first episode, I think, but only like 5 minutes.
Sonny's Edge, the one with the monster fights.
No, from the first season.
Yeah, I think that's Sonny's Edge.
Isn't it the one with 3 robots and like a basketball? They find like a basketball.
It is now. They changed the order of the episodes, which was very jarring for me because now some of the episodes that I missed were like episode 3, so I had to go through the lists and
What a
pick
weird
together.
thing to do.
Yeah, I know. And IMDb, it's still on the original order of release. I don't know.
Why would they change it?
I have no idea. Maybe to fit different themes? I don't know.
Right. I mean, I can't help you. I have no idea. Is
Um,
it Fincher-esque in any way?
I don't know. Maybe some of them try to be, but I don't think any of them succeed. And I think some of the best rated episodes, which are some of the more realistic animated, just they suck. The animation is interesting, but the story is just cheesy and terrible. For example, they're like 2 werewolf soldiers.
Right.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
out of hand. But yeah, it's an interesting show, but it's nothing too amazing. It's very hit or miss.
Yeah.
But I think my second honorable is gonna be your pick, so I'm gonna give the mic over to you to
Interesting.
talk about the best thing that you've seen all week.
Interesting. I'm thinking of what would be your pick. Once again, a pick out of necessity because I've only seen the one thing this week, and it is Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's newest. I was about to say masterpiece. I don't know. I tell you why, because I've watched some interviews, and all of the interviewers are like huge fans of his, and they call like every single one of his movies a masterpiece. So that's why I almost fell into that trap too.
But sorry, not to this Zack Snyder or anything, but has he done any like masterpieces? Anything that like really stands out, except of course Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, which I haven't seen, but I'm not convinced by all the hype. I mean, how good can it be in comparison to all of the rest,
No, but I think a lot of people, and I actually know it, a lot of people genuinely believe that I don't mean to denigrate it, but a lot of people think of his movies as masterpieces, and that's starting
like what,
from Man of
Suicide
Steel.
Squad?
No, that's not him. That's David Ayer. And
wasn't he also in... What?
No. No, it's but Man of Steel, a lot of people love that.
Sorry.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
He did 300, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League now, Sucker Punch, Army of the Dead. What else?
Watchmen.
Watchmen, of course. That's my favorite. That's close to a masterpiece. I love that movie.
I wouldn't say masterpiece, but it's definitely his best movie that at least I've seen.
Yeah. No, but once again, Army of the Dead, it released today when we record this on the 21st on Netflix. And I mean, I don't hate it as my pick. I was entertained for 2.5 hours. I mean, it's a long movie.
It's very long, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Dave Bautista, who we talked about last week as the newest cast member of Knives Out 2, which they have now added. Who did they add? I forgot now. God, there was one other. Do you know?
Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah, right.
It?
Yeah. You're right.
Did we talk about this already?
No. That was afterwards. Yeah. Nice.
One actress that I know more from seeing her, but I can't remember her name.
A new one too? I don't even remember.
She's, I think, more of a singer as well. I don't know if she's new to the cast.
Right.
Her name is...
Was it Janelle Monáe?
Could very well be.
We talked about that.
It is Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
And Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson is in this? Yeah, I didn't know that. Really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah. According to IMDb, it's Dave Bautista, Daniel Craig, Catherine Hahn, Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Janelle... Sorry, what's How do you
Yeah.
pronounce the last name?
I think it's Monet.
Monet and Leslie Odom Jr.
Interesting. I did not know about Kate Hudson. I mean, the cast just keeps on growing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, Army of the Dead, 2.5 hours zombie, and I was about to say again a zombie epic, which I don't necessarily think it is. Right? I kind of, and the reason why I enjoyed it is because it was like it felt like a small story, or it was a small story told on like a grand scale, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. It was just about getting into Las Vegas, robbing a bank, and getting the fuck back out of there before they nuked the place. Which I mean, the president wants to nuke Las Vegas because there was a zombie. I mean, zombies took over, and the way they portrayed the president. I mean, what was the quote? He thought it was cool to do it on the on
4th of July,
on Independence Day. Yeah, I mean, I think they might have. I think they might insinuate the president being a former president.
I would think so.
Yeah, he would say something like this, maybe. Yeah, I mean, before we run a clip of the trailer, give me 2 seconds of what you thought of it. Did you hate that?
I liked it. I enjoyed it at the beginning. I liked the opening, and I liked how they kind of set the characters up in the beginning, which is through a bit of a montage without dialogue and just them pretty much living through the worst of the incoming zombie apocalypse, which is then stopped and contained in Las Vegas, which then kind of sets up the whole job that they have to do. I kind of like that. I thought it was a nice way to do it without, I don't know, cramming it in 20 minutes and trying to put a whole lot of dramatic scenes and dialogue in there. But towards the end, it became so overly dramatic that I couldn't take it seriously because the premise is so ridiculous that I didn't have the connection with the characters to make it, I don't know, to make it emotionally pay off emotionally, whatever. And yeah, I don't know, it was fine. The action was nice, but it was way more than I expected, because even the zombies are not really zombies in my opinion, but they're more like White Walkers.
Well, right, but they're kind of zombies, no? I mean, even White Walkers I would consider them to be zombies, no? Undead zombies.
I know, in my brain, zombies are like mindless hordes of monsters.
Right,
which
Shaun
they
of the
also
Dead.
are.
Yeah. But the montage you mentioned, that's kind of like a typical Zack Snyder fashion. I mean, the Watchmen montage in the beginning, over times. What's the song? Times They're Changing.
Sure. I mean, also with like the slow motion, which he even talked about, because I watched an interview with Zack Snyder doing like the Wired autocomplete interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but I'm just not a fan of the kind of action films that he does, I guess. Also like 300 and whatever.
I mean, before we dive into this a little bit deeper, and after your ringing endorsement once again, let's run a little clip of the newest Netflix flick, Army of the Dead, starring, I mean, Dave Bautista, and then, I mean, the reason why I was interested in this movie, Matthias Schweighöfer. So here's a little clip of the movie Army of the Dead.
You ready to play?
There's $200 million in the vault beneath the strip, with a 32-hour window to get it out. Find the safe. This should be a simple in and out.
It's not too late to go back.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
What the?
They're not what you think they are. They're smarter. They're faster. They're organized.
Best that you can hope for is to die in the street.
Oh, scheiße.
You got know when to fold.
Right. I anticipate there's a lot of music and action in that trailer.
I would assume so.
Which I mean, could go completely off track. I have been watching other things this week. Well, one other thing, and that's I've been.
You liar. So what?
I'm telling
what
you.
was it?
I'm just I'm still watching the Innocent.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Right.
Speaking of trailer, because I mentioned last week I didn't know what to put in there because it's all in Spanish. But luckily, the Netflix trailer or the YouTube trailer that we used, it was subtitled, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I understand. I'm getting to an interesting point here because I used a clip of the trailer for The Innocent that told a part of the story, or it showed certain things that I hadn't gotten to yet in the show. And by now I have. And the reason, the way they fool you with the trailer is genius. It's genius. Yeah. Like one certain thing, I'm not going to give it away now, but I was like anticipating those words that were in the trailer to be heard in the show, because I also like remembered the sentence that he said in Spanish because I edited the trailer and stuff, and it kind of stuck with me. And then I got to the episode and he said that sentence, but it was so out of context in the trailer, and it was used completely differently in the actual show. And I was just like, oh, that's fucking amazing. And I'm still watching it. I'm like 2 episodes. I need 2 more episodes, and I'm loving it, man. Once again, it's not for everyone, but I'm loving it. Twisted to shit. And it's now getting to the things where it's like I mentioned there's been a few twists already, and I was predicting many more, and I was completely right. There's so many more twists. And
how many?
It's good.
How many episodes are there even?
It's just 8 episodes.
Right.
But 1 hour episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. But back to Army of the Dead.
I mean,
yeah.
The cast is like a mixture of famous actors and people that I know from other movies, but I just couldn't place them.
Yeah.
But there was one actor who I really like, which is Hiroki Sanada.
Yeah.
I have no idea if I pronounce his name correctly. Probably not. But he's a Japanese actor.
Daughter, right?
Exactly. The 50-year-old Japanese dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's a Japanese dude? Sorry.
But, I mean, he also recently starred in Mortal Kombat, which is supposedly a masterpiece, you know?
A lot of people like that movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that movie, yep.
Okay,
it's supposed to be that bad, then it's good.
I hate that when people say that. If it's that bad that it's good, it's gonna be like made in a garage by like 5 people. And
No. I completely understand why people say this. There's so many. You can't name one movie that you know it's bad, but you love it.
Not in a way Mortal Kombat, I think, because I've seen like the first 10 minutes or whatever because they're up on YouTube. They're like one of the big trailers for Mortal Kombat is not a trailer, but instead they just put up the first 15 minutes of the movie, which is, I think, a cool idea.
Yeah.
For opening or promoting a movie. And it just looks so stupid. And the problem is with, it's so stupid that it's good again, is also, I think you can say that about movies that have a low budget because that makes it kind of funnier, but then blowing so much money on such a stupid project just makes me more mad than amused. But
I think a lot of people appreciate it for being like an actually like a good adaptation of the video game. It's a video game, right?
Yeah, of course.
I know very little about this, but I think it's a video. I mean, you know, it could have been based on a comic that I don't know of. You know, I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get to this? It looks so bad that it's good. I wouldn't say that. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
He's a cool actor, but he's got quite a small role. And speaking of actors, I mean, Dave Bautista, he plays a way more of a let's say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson character, this overly badass guy, you know. And I like Dave Bautista, but I like him more in his silly roles, like in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I even liked him in Blade Runner because he's quite serious and subdued. But here's this very classical action guy with the very tragic past. And now,
well, Blade Runner is anything but silly.
No. There he's serious and subdued,
right.
and he lays down a good performance. But here he's just this classical action guy. You know, he's a wrestler. He shoots zombies. He's got a tragic past.
I agree with what I kind of understand what you mean by it's more of a Rock kind of role. But then again, I kind of want to push against that. I think that's got a negative connotation to it, if that's a sentence.
Yeah. I mean, he's still okay. I still like the guy.
And I like the Rock movies too, but I feel like
I
I
don't know a single really good The Rock movie.
I would agree. But I think there's more like these decent movies, kind of like the more like the Liam Neeson action films of the last couple of years.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, there's some really good ones actually when I think about it. But The Rock, well, I mean, what's the best The Rock movie? I enjoy Jumanji.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best movie that he has been in. But well, I saw The Rundown back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
Which was one of his earlier roles, I suppose, and I really enjoyed that back in the day, but I don't think I would now.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, yeah.
We're both not really into the Fast and Furious series, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So
Watched the first one, hated it.
I mean, the 9th one is about to come out, and I'm not kidding you. The reviews are, I'm not kidding, they're really, really good, and they're supposed to be like more mature now or whatever.
I don't believe that.
I do believe
I
it.
think people have a wrong standard when it comes to Fast and Furious movies. You know?
I mean,
if you liked one of them and you're like, oh, this one is a great one, I think you kind of compared it to other Fast and Furious movies and not like to actually good movies, you know?
I haven't seen them, but I don't think that's the case. I've heard
Okay.
like Fast 5 is supposed to be a really good movie, but then again, I have no idea. But I think we're all over the place this episode, but that's
Yeah.
why you're tuning in.
Right.
We're now speaking somehow. We've now turned this episode into the Rock special. Best thing we've seen from the Rock, and I'm thinking about it.
Nothing.
I liked Skyscraper, but that wasn't. I would never consider that to be the best movie I've seen of him. It was a more
Luckily,
recent
you haven't
one.
seen it.
It's good. What do you mean, luckily?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
It looks-
Oh, it's good.
God awful. God awful.
Central Intelligence. I'm just thinking back as the movies.
I haven't seen that one.
recently.
That's
Weren't
with
you in that
Kevin
one?
Hart as well, right?
Weren't you in that one? Weren't you? Oh, we didn't see this in the sneak, right?
No. You
no.
were with Max,
Right.
but not. I skipped it for whatever reason.
Yeah. No, but
Anyway, but yeah, Matthias Schweighöfer, who's a German actor. Which I mean, are you a fan of his career apart from his American action movies? Because I don't know, what has he done many American movies by now? I have no idea.
I don't know, and I would never say that I'm a big fan of his career because I haven't seen enough. But I
Okay.
like the dude a lot, and I was so surprised when I heard that he was cast in this movie.
How come?
Well, what do you mean? How come? You
I mean,
anticipated Matthias
he's-
Schweighöfer to be in a Zack Snyder zombie film?
Fair enough, but he's like a bigger German actor, and there are many German actors who've broken out into American movies, like Til Schweiger and Til Schweiger.
Sure.
But no, I get what you mean. Of course, it's not what you would expect.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I mean, he was. I had to smile at some of his moments because he is the comic relief.
mm-hmm.
But I kind of wished he was more than that.
Yep.
He's kind of the throwaway, funny German guy.
Yeah.
Insecure German guy. But, and I was going to say this when we talk about the movie in general. I feel like Zack Snyder he feels like he has a good sense of humor, and that might be the case, but not for me. His humor does not work for me, and because there are a couple of scenes in Army of the Dead where you're supposed to laugh, and I was just like, let's move it along.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not need that scene right there. I do like his action, and I do like the way he shoots that, and that's sort of what kept me going. And this sort of machismo action kind of thing, I can live with.
Yeah, it's very over the top.
Sure, but I mean, Tig Notaro as the chopper pilot, who I don't know if you knew this. I read this like 2 or 3 hours ago.
Yeah, me too.
She replaced, I think it was Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
So Tig Notaro did the whole thing on green screen, and I did not notice that one
Which
bit.
is crazy. Yeah.
I think they managed to do a good job of that.
I think I noticed it in one scene because before I even read that, there was this one scene where she knelt between the other actors, because they were getting ready for a firefight. And I thought her leg just looked so weird as if it was animated, but I guess that kind of explains it.
Right.
But
I did like her first scene. That was the funniest scene of the film. When she got introduced to the job and she's like, you're going to get $2 million. And she's like, I'm in. Do you want to hear what it's about? No. And then she goes like, I hate my life so much. I love them. That was a great scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to rave about the Army of the Dead too much other than that. I did really enjoy, and I forgot her name now, but the girl who played Dave Bautista's daughter, she reminded me a lot of Olivia Cook. I don't know if you...
Really?
Don't you think?
I don't have a picture of Olivia Cook right in front of me, but I can change that in a second.
From Sound of Metal and
but-
Ready Player One.
Yeah, no, not maybe
What was
a
her name?
bit. I
Emma.
guess.
Is it Emma? Ella Purnell. I thought she
Oh,
was
wow.
good.
Yeah,
Really good, actually.
sure.
I was surprised to see her
alright.
because she's in it. We've seen her, or I've seen her in a couple of films, but I couldn't quite place her. And I mean, I'm looking through her IMDb. Like she was in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I have no idea who she was in that. Maybe she was one of the main actors. I don't know. Never Let Me Go as young Ruth. I mean, sure. I don't quite remember that, but I think
gotta
she's really good.
I always confuse her with the girl from Knives Out.
With Ana de Armas.
Yes, Anna de Armas. No, with the girl also from
With
13 Reasons
Catherine
Why.
Langford. I wasn't even making a
Yeah.
joke. I was genuinely asking. Okay. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I feel like she's got a mixture. She's a mixture of Catherine Langford and Olivia Cook.
Sure. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
And she's, of course, English, putting on an American accent, as every American accent in movies nowadays is not. It's fake, apparently. But it was believable. It was believable.
Yeah, I thought the cast of characters was interesting, but I don't know, they didn't do much with it. You know, I had no idea who any of the people were most of the time.
Yeah.
Especially like Notaro's character. It's not even like in a montage at the beginning, right?
What do you mean? She's not in the montage?
Yeah, I think her first appearance is when they asked her about the
Well-
chopper, right? I was like, I don't know.
Well, maybe she wasn't because she was recast and they didn't fit her in that somehow.
Fair enough. That's a pretty good
Guess.
Fury, yeah.
Yeah. I do have to say, to wrap this up, because
Please.
the story is they lose track of a zombie who then infects
Mhm.
everyone else, and then there's a zombie apocalypse in Las Vegas, and then I don't even know how much time passes, but
Like a day or two?
is it only? No, it can't be only a day or two. Is it only a day or two? Maybe.
Yeah, I think because they said they got like 1.5 days or 2 days until the bomb drops, right?
Right. No, but I mean, from the opening scene to
Oh, okay,
the
sorry.
second scene.
Yeah, I guess a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how long, but the plot of the film, as the trailer might have told you, now they're hidden. They're hired to then, as I said before, go into the zone where all the zombies are and get some money out of there. And yeah, of course, they have to fight a lot of zombies on the way. And I did like the whole, because I also saw in an interview that Zack Snyder sort of wanted you to empathize. What's the word?
Empathize.
With the zombies. And is that the right word? Sympathize with
so.
them? I don't know. Because I mean, a lot of shit happens to them too, and not just like they're now getting their heads blown off, but other things too. I mean,
Poor fucking zombies.
yeah, and that kind of worked for me, and I did enjoy the main villain, even though he didn't have any lines or whatever.
Yeah, I think he was a bit comical.
You think so?
And I mean, just because of the action scenes with him, because most of the scenes he stars in are very over the top and very actiony, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't really make me take him serious.
Yeah. But my favorite scene was the one where in the beginning, the daughter's locked in the bathroom and her mother is pounding on the door and Dave Bautista enters. And then the shit that ensues. I think Bautista's a good actor. I'm going to say.
I think he's good.
I think he's
yeah.
a really good actor.
I'm looking forward to him in Knives Out and Dune, but
yeah,
I don't think his acting chops really come through in this movie. Except for, I mean,
I would
that
agree.
scene, I think he does the most with his acting range. But
yeah, I
apart
would
from
agree.
that-
I would agree. And yeah, and some good music in it too, in typical Zack Snyder fashion. I didn't appreciate that This Is the End cover, because that song is supposed to be only in Apocalypse Now, and I don't want it anywhere else.
I didn't
It's,
like the song the song at the end, which was such an obvious choice.
You can say it.
Didn't fit it well at all, which was "Zombie" by.
The Cranberries.
Is it the Crab?
Isn't it the Cranberries?
Could be.
We actually covered that song in our band, like when I was a young boy.
A young boy, young lad.
Yeah, I think it's the Cranberries.
Yeah, it sounds correct. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the Cranberries.
Let's get to your pick. I mean, once again, Army of the Dead. I think it's fine. It's a fine film. It's a fine film.
Yeah, it's a classic action movie, which is just not my genre, but it's it's fun entertainment.
Yeah,
if
sure.
you're into that.
I mean, yeah, as you said, I think if you're into Zack Snyder's films, then you're going to watch this too and enjoy it.
Right.
As he takes a zip. What do you got?
My pick of the week is something that I didn't expect at all or didn't look forward to because I didn't have it on my radar at all, which is a new limited series on Netflix by the name of Halston.
Oh, God.
Did you see it? Or did you see the
Of
trailer
course I
or
didn't
whatever?
see it. Yeah, no, I have no interest in this.
Okay. It was surprisingly good. It really is.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing. It's only 5 episodes. I watched it in like 3 days.
Isn't it? Sorry, 1 hour episodes? Or how long is it?
Yeah, between 40 and 50 minutes, I think.
Okay. I thought it was longer. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, it's about the legendary fashion designer Roy Halston.
I thought you were going to say Ewan McGregor.
Who I've been a fan of for, I don't know, a day or two. No, I had no idea who this is because all those big fashion names are, of course, like Calvin Klein and...
Oh, Calvin Klein, he's a good-looking dude.
I don't know who else there is. Yves Saint Laurent or whatever his name is.
Tom Ford?
This is not a topic that I'm interested in at all. And it is about people in the fashion industry. It's more about their lives. And of course, Halston, who is a fashion designer, and it follows his career and life from the 60s to the 80s. Of course, like you just mentioned, portrayed by Ewan McGregor, who is a great actor. And this is why I love this show. This is an amazing performance by his. Emmy-worthy. I mean, throughout the show, I forgot that he was Ewan McGregor. I just saw him as that character because just of his mannerisms and his character. He's fucking amazing. And he plays quite an eccentric guy who deals with, of course, he's very much in love with himself and very much absorbed in his own world, you know, as you can imagine people in like the fashion world, because in my opinion, I don't know how you see it, Flo, but fashion is not like an integral part of our society that I'm like, we need fashion designers. They're like the most important thing in the world. But of course, if you live in his world in New York or you live and breathe fashion, you feel like that's the only thing in the world, right? Everybody who wears like, I don't know, $5 jeans is a fucking peasant.
I mean, for me, he's one of the greats. I can't think of a good joke now.
What are you wearing right now? A Halston.
I got I'm wearing a Halston, yeah. Is he still alive? Is he like a real life dude? Yeah, right? You said that.
He's a real life dude, but he is no longer alive.
Okay.
I think most of the people who star in the show all died. One of them very recently, except for one person.
When is this set?
60s, 70s, 80s.
Oh, it's that far. Oh, I did not notice. Okay.
And the only like surviving person who plays a big role in this is Liza Minnelli, who is
she's in this.
Well, not she's portrayed by somebody.
Oh. That makes more sense.
Somebody plays Liza Minnelli, who, of course, Liza Minnelli is a big actress back in the 60s, 70s, and the daughter of Judy Garland also makes an appearance, or at least somebody portrays her in the film Judy, of course. I think so, right? She visits like her party. She visits her daughter.
Maybe.
And of course, when she's a child, she makes a small appearance. But it's so weird because I completely forgot about this, but I also looked this up when I saw Judy. The real Liza Minnelli stars in Arrested Development.
Yeah, another show that I haven't seen. I know it's supposed to be.
You gotta. You gotta. But yeah, like I said, it's about the fashion world, and I think we can run a clip because it's a Netflix original.
Yeah, sure.
So here we go with Halston.
I've been an outsider my whole life. Till one day I just stopped giving a flying fuck.
My wife, she thinks you're a genius. I think that's a dangerous word. I think once you call yourself a genius, you stop growing.
Halston for your today. Halston for your everyday. Halston for your world.
Vaughn, I know you. The one thing you don't know how to do is stop.
Halston, listen to me. You're obsessing over all the wrong things.
There are two things that you'll never have. My talent and my name.
You are out of control.
Here's my offer. You fuck off. And you fuck off. And you, and you, and you. You can all fuck off.
All right. Here we go. I think the name is the name is written Halston, but I think Halston, but I always say Halston.
Right.
I think it's Halston. But yeah, it's fucking, like I said, it's not something that I am interested in at all, but it's quite an emotional trip. And it starts off with him being a hat designer. He designed like the hat that Jackie Kennedy wore at the inauguration of John F. Kennedy.
Right.
Which kind of put him on the map. And then, of course, his whole rivalry with Calvin Klein and all the other people. And at his time, American fashion was kind of looked down upon by the French fashion world. And there's so many things that you never would have thought of. And when you see kind of some of the clothes that they're wearing and the kind of trends that they're going through, although I'm not a fan of fashion, like I said, I don't think it's like the end all be all of important things in this world. You kind of see how things evolve, which is, I don't know, fascinating in a way. It's not something that I think about a lot, but there's so many fads and so many like trends going around and dying out so freaking fast that to actually think about that those fads don't come naturally. It's some big fashion guys make dresses and pants and shirts, whatever.
Yeah.
And then just people wear it and see it as normal, which is such a weird thought, you know? I would assume that I'm a guy that doesn't really follow like fashion trends.
You would assume?
But who knows?
Oh yeah, you're fair enough.
I mean, I look like a fucking hobo most of the time, which reminds me I should really shave. But I don't know. Don't you think that's kind of strange?
I mean, I agree, but there's so many things you can think of in that way. I feel the same way about paintings. I mean, the way paintings
do you
are
like
revered.
follow a lot of painters, or do you have a lot of
I
paintings?
wear a lot of paintings.
You are a painting. You're a piece of art.
I'm saying thank you, but I mean, like, I feel, and how do I say this? There's so many professions where I feel like I don't understand why people revere their work as much as they do. And when you paint an abstract painting, and if little Oliver, who's 5 years old, paints the same painting as a guy who is well known, no one cares about the painting, but because it's from that guy, it's worth millions of dollars. And the same way about fashion. I mean, just because one guy designed a pair of jeans that he probably has manufactured in Asia somewhere for the same price as H&M produces their things, but you have to pay 20 times as much to wear basically trousers and and t-shirts. I know there's a difference there.
It's a status symbol in a way,
right?
You know?
Of course,
with like fucking Supreme, which is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard of.
With what? Supreme?
Yeah, because Supreme, who sells some like shirts, of course, and other items with just Supreme printed on it, and they're worth a fucking fortune.
Right.
Which is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
don't
just
get it either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my world. You could argue that. I don't. It's just not for me.
I mean, you kind of see it in this show. If everything you do and you only surround yourself with people who are in that industry, it seems like it's the only thing worth talking about and everything.
Oh, for sure.
Especially if everybody looks up to you and, oh my God, your dress is so amazing and you're like a fucking genius in this world. I think you can become very disconnected, especially when you make millions and millions of dollars and don't have to see regular people anymore.
Yeah. Is it in any way like similar to Phantom Thread, other than it being about fashion?
Not at all. Not from the tone. I think it's way more hip. I thought about which things to compare to, and I found it hard, but it's very much more of a biopic and comes across like that because, like I said, it's in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so his whole life story is only told through 5 episodes. So you got a different aspect of his life in each episode, from his rise to, or his own startup, becoming his own like brand of fashion, to breaking through to France and the whole fashion world, to his love life, and then of course there's got to be some drama and his whole problems that occurred later in life. And it's funny because I googled some pictures of him, and older Halston really looks like Richard E. Grant, the actor.
Right.
He really does. But I think, yeah, Ian McGregor was a pretty good fit, especially because, like, yeah, it's set over 30 years, and I think he never looked out of place.
I like Ewan McGregor.
And he's great. He's fucking great.
He's done some very interesting stuff. I mean, I'm looking at it now, IMDb, 92 things, which I know not all of them are movies, but over the years, I've watched some interesting things that I hadn't heard of before, and yeah, he's got some nice little hidden gems in his filmography, and he's always good. He's always good.
I mean, I gotta say, The Island by Michael Bay wasn't like his best work.
I think that's one of the better Michael Bay movies.
It doesn't say a lot, does it?
I agree.
But I know. Have you seen Moulin Rouge? Because that's like one of his biggest roles that I
have not seen that. No, I haven't seen it.
But I mean, alone just from Trainspotting and so many of his other roles, he's got quite a bit of range. And yeah, like I said, Halston's got so many mannerisms that he had to kind of keep track of, which is just always mind-boggling to me, to lay down that performance and then to kind of compare it to the more watched movies and shows, which are more actiony, where people just always play the same characters.
Yeah.
And when you compare those roles to each other, it's there's so much that goes into it. And it also kind of reminds me that why I don't watch or don't like to watch things with a dubbed audio track, because his voice conveys so much of his character.
Right. But then again, I completely agree, and I do the same thing. But every now and again, when I listen to something that's dubbed in German, I'm just so nostalgic. And but Germans have such great voice actors.
But I do agree, because it's just one's childhood, you know. But it's so funny because it just, you hear the same voice over and over again. There's so many voices that that do like Brad Pitt and I don't know who else, and it doesn't feel like Brad Pitt is talking anymore, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I watched something recently, and I don't know what it was, a trailer for something that was dubbed in German, and I knew all the voices. Still working. I mean, it's got to be tough to get into that business because there's so many working actors now that always do everything, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, a colleague of mine is becoming a voice actor, which is
in Austria,
so cool. In Austria, yeah. There's like this your own.
I wish him all the best, but I just feel like you got to be in Germany to really. I wish him all the best. Once again, I don't know anything about it, but I kind of feel like, do you know one Austrian voice actor?
I don't, not personally, of course, but I saw one and I knew his name, but I forgot it. He's the voice actor of Ben Kingsley in most of his movies. He's an Austrian actor that I've seen once or twice in the theater now. Very good actor.
But surely he works in Germany then, no? If he dubs Ben Kingsley?
Well, I guess he goes over there, but I think he's Austrian and he does a lot of theater work in Vienna.
No, but that's a completely different thing. I'm just saying, like...
I suppose he lives in Austria and then kind of flies over to
right.
does his voice work.
That's
or maybe
dream,
even records it in Austria and they just send over the files. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Oh, it's an interesting profession. I would love to do that.
It is.
I would love to
do that. I think it's pretty cool, especially when you get to do it for original stuff where you don't have to mimic somebody else, but just have like freedom of what you want to do. I think that's pretty
with
cool.
animated stuff,
voice acting. Yeah, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Halston, but
I think you should give it a chance. I think I wasn't that interested at first just from the premise, but Ewan McGregor made me give it a try.
Ewan.
It's a great clip. I'm sorry.
No,
of Ewan McGregor reacting to otters, like the animals, sea otters.
Right.
Great little clip. So adorable.
Take your word for it. We'll link it in the description.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that I got nothing else, dude. I mean, I could talk about The Innocent, but I kind of want to recap. You should try that show too.
I'll try.
Yeah, you should. But it really only gets good like one or two or three episodes in.
Okay. I mean, there's another show coming out or that has come out on Amazon Prime that I really want to watch, but next week it's going to be a special episode, and there's so many things to rewatch. And
I think I know what you mean. And I don't know why we're staying vague, but that show you're talking about, I want to watch just because of who made it, but I have zero interest in the show.
I mean, you can say it, I think. Underground Railroad, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
By, I don't want to say,
Barry Jenkins.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Who did Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk, but this is supposed to be a great show. And it looks
interesting.
Yeah, but it looks like and I'm sorry, Barry, such a drag. It just looks like it's a 10-hour.
Yeah. I want to watch this for this week, but then I saw it's like 8 episodes or more with an hour each.
Yeah. No, I said last week there was a lot of things to watch for this week, and I meant Underground Railroad, and I meant Army of the Dead, and Halston was one of them, and obviously The Innocent, which I meant to watch for today.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get around to anything. I rewatched The Art of Self-Defense, and that's it.
That was a cool film. That was a cool recommendation. Very.
I love that film.
Abstract.
I love that film. I it's amazing. This is your belt. It is yours. It is sacred. There'll be a $15 charge to replace a lost belt. It's the best. It's the best dark comedy of the last 5 years. Right. I got nothing. You have anything?
Yeah.
Anything?
I think there's one video that I really enjoyed, but I think I might talk about it next week.
Okay.
Otherwise,
that's private.
We'll be way over the line.
Yeah. How does the kitchen look?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay. Good.
Right.
Good.
Has been better.
Okay. You want to talk about the trivia session we got coming up in about 80 minutes?
I mean, I don't like to compliment you because I think your ego is big enough, but
I'm sorry.
But most of the time when we've played this trivia game, you've won. I think I've won one single time. So I don't like my chances, but I'm gonna give it my best. How about you?
You think my ego is big enough? It's a very interesting thing you said at the end of the show. How about we add another 30 minutes and get to the personal
discussion?
Yeah. No, I didn't mean talk about it as in what are your chances and my success over the past couple of years. I was just I'm just excited that it's happening. It doesn't matter who wins.
I mean,
as long as it's not Max.
Poor guy.
I don't know. Anyone.
I mean, do you ever prepare for the trivia nights?
Yeah. I study excessively. That's why I haven't been able to watch anything this week because I've been reading
screenshot of a screenshot.
No, I'm reading screenplays.
Impressive.
Yeah. No, honest answer is I think what I've done, and that was before one trivia night that we had over the past couple of years. There was this one trivia page where it just shows you the soundtracks, the most well-known movie soundtracks,
and
it was 50 of them, and I went through that one time, and of course it didn't help me at all because I forgot what the first one was after I saw the last one. I'm bad with that, but that's about it. No, how about you? You prepare excessively for this too?
No, I think once or twice back in the day I looked at I tried to look up more obscure actors because the trivia category that I'm worst at is naming unknown actors, which were actors that you see their faces of constantly, but you never really get their name. And I mean, you are pretty fucking good at this character, and Max is as well. But I'm bad at remembering names in general, and I've never won a round of this.
Yeah, that's kind of my. I would say that is a cat. Yeah, I mean, my ego is not big enough, but I would say that is my category. I would say that is that's where it ends. I like that category. But I had to laugh when you said the categories to name unknown actors. You just go like, yeah, I don't know, Mark Smith. He was great, but no one knows him. Just name anyone. He's an unknown actor, but you should know him.
Everyone like nods along to pretend to know him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, more people should know about him. No, right, but we're doing it this week, and friend of the show, fan of the show. I hope maybe he's the guy who we lost on YouTube.
Oh, phew.
But
if so, we're gonna burn him tonight.
Yeah, he's doing it. So you pronounce that name in English because I don't want to butcher it.
Offer,
but there's no H in there, is there?
Yeah, there's an H. In his name, there's an H.
Oh, in his name, there's an H?
There's another Offer we know, but there's no H.
That makes it so much easier.
I think it's still Offer. It's the English version.
Right. So shout out to you. And hopefully we're going to have fun in about 80 minutes, which when you're listening to this, about 48 hours ago. So wish me luck.
That's it. This reminds me of something of Army of the Dead, but I don't want to get into it.
One more sentence.
No, because of this fucking time loop that they kind of talk about for a second.
Yeah.
Really threw me off. I don't know what that was.
Dude, and the very last shot, good or bad?
I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me at all that that person would even be walking from. But yeah,
right. But 100%. But then the implication of the end, I thought it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it was interesting, but I was done with the movie and was like, oh my God, this is happening now? It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
I don't want to hold you any longer because you wanted to edit this in the next 70 minutes. So
because I have pretty much no time tomorrow and I got to work on Sunday. So
yeah,
we'll see how this works out.
This episode is going to come out in 1 week.
Yeah,
that's it. We look forward to the next special. That's important, right? Next week is going to be really cool. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening as always.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a blast as always. You can check us out on any podcast platforms, be it Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. You can join us, or, I don't know what you do. Do you join people? Do you follow people on Twitter and Instagram at Best Thing Radio? You can also check out our thumbnails that you can see on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, of course, that Flo designs every week. Consider dropping a like, a subscribe, or leaving a review, depending on which platform you use. And yeah, it's been a blast. And we hope you cook something good, watch something good. I don't know, have a movie trivia night. Stay safe, have fun. I don't know what else I can say. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, sure. Bye-bye.